Hello Aries friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Aries July 2021 Astrology Must Knows. Definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com to see the long and growing list of free goodies that I have for you every month. And if you'd like to be a professional astrologer or to up your game with astrology to further support your development and help your friends and family, then you will love my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. If you think I put a lot into my free resources, you should see the comprehensive nature of that paid resource. So check it out at lumelife.com, L-U-M-E, life.com. So what do we have going on this month? Of course, there are always lots of juicy details that I love to get into and lots of things especially favorable for Aries, which I'm always happy to report because I have Aries rising, so everything I'm reading for you all, I'm also reading for myself, which gives it a much more personal nature to me, looking at the energies, and I'm very excited to share my insights. Two things to know to make the most of this video. The first is that this is for you, whether Aries is your moon or your rising or your sun or your Mercury or your Venus or your Mars or whatever you watch for your Aries placements. We are very complex. Each individual is as complex as the universe itself. And so every time you want to go deeper into yourself, you can go through another layer in astrology, and any of your Aries placements, you're going to have astrological truth in this video in some way. The second thing to note is that if you're a late degree Aries placement, so if your birthday is from around April 13th through the rest of the sign, or if you have an Aries placement between 20 and 29 degrees, the later into April and the later in the degrees, the more this is true, I highly recommend you also watch my Taurus reports. You late degree placements are a more complex read, and you may find that you benefit from watching both reports. And you can also experiment with that even with other astrologers, especially if you're very late degree or late birthday in Aries, that you might get more insights from your astrology studies. Okay, so what do we have going on? The first major must know is that we are breaking out of that retrograde energy of the second half of May, all of June, and just the very early part of July. This is very exciting for everyone, but especially Aries, who are very forward movement, momentum, and clarity oriented. We love to do stuff and to move forward and to know where we're going and to charge forward fearlessly. And when we've got personal planet retrogrades, it's more difficult to do that. We have to be more relaxed, kind of take a break from how we are, take a break from ambitions in some ways, and so now we're stepping into this beautiful window starting around July 7th, going to around September 7th or 8th. So basically that's most of July, all of August, and the first part of September is our brilliant open window that is free from the confusion, the backward focus of the retrograde that we end, of course, the eclipse season, which we'll also talk about. And then we're going and charging forward into this momentum and clarity where you can do something with all of this big information that came in from these eclipses, and you might also get more eclipse news coming in. Okay, so this big window has lots of big implications. More things that are very well supported during this brilliant launch period from around July 7th or around September 8th are engagements, weddings, big parties, travel, major plans, big agreements, major expensive purchases, redesign, redecorating, anything having to do with agreements, starting new businesses, adding different divisions onto businesses, looking for jobs, finding jobs, changing work, anything bold, anything important, moving, like your physical house where you live, your housing, selling houses, buying houses, anything like that, investing, all of those types of things are the things that are amazing to do in this brilliant launch period from around July 7th through around September 8th, kind of those dates in there. So basically most of July, all of August, and the first part of September is just free flow in the stars. The next major must know is really learning about this eclipse cycle. Even though the eclipses were in May and June and are not officially in July, July still is the tail end of eclipse season. And eclipse time is game-changing time. And especially for Aries, this has had a chance to bring positive changes in very miraculous ways because of the beautiful angle that the Gemini and Sagittarius eclipses made to our placement. So if you want to hear more about the eclipse cycle, what the implications are in general, what Aries might see from that, it's good to get yourself educated on that because these storylines will be in effect until the beginning of 2022 and not just now. Okay, so watch my May and June Aries videos to see where each of those placements hit and what fields of experience have been accentuated for you and what storylines you can see continue through the rest of the year. But do know that the news might not be done coming in and that you might see some forward movement for the news that had come in. Okay, so the next must know is that Jupiter is in retrograde. So Jupiter lurking around a new sign. Okay, so Jupiter is in retrograde. Jupiter is dancing in a new sign. So it's like between Aquarius and Pisces, and it's dancing between two different houses. So there's a lot to know about what Jupiter is doing, and I want to drill into more details here. In general, Jupiter is the great benefic. It is the most positive and optimistic and expansive of all of the outer planets. Not to say that Jupiter can't cause ruckuses, because Jupiter does sometimes make things worse in order to make them better. If there's a problem that's under the surface, sometimes Jupiter will bring it up in a big way so that it can be all cleared out. Okay, similar to a wound coming to a head and clearing, Jupiter can do that work, but all with benevolent intention. So Jupiter has been, for 2021, accentuating your house of internet-based projects, social media, humanitarian efforts, community-based projects, friendships, social circles, finding your tribe and your place within the group. Now, Saturn has also been there, and they have been working a little bit contrary to each other, but it has brought those sectors front and center. And that work that Jupiter is doing there is not done yet. Even though it's popped into Pisces, it's not far enough from that placement to be in effect, and it will be in effect all for the rest of the year. Okay, if you want to know more about what Jupiter's doing in 2021 for Aries, look for my video called Jupiter in Aquarius for Aries. You can search for that title organically, or go to Annie Botticelli, my YouTube homepage, and find my Jupiter in Aquarius series and see the one for Aries, and you will get much more details about what Jupiter is doing. And you can also watch, actually I have a blog. If you go to anniehelpsyou.com and you search for Jupiter in the 12th house, that is where Jupiter is dancing now, and you can look for Jupiter in the 11th house, which is Jupiter's storyline for all of 2021. Okay, so as Jupiter gets into the 12th house, ducks into Pisces, we're getting some hints, some storylines about the types of energies that we're going to see more of from the end of December through most of May of 2022, because we're getting just a little introduction into Jupiter and Pisces now, and then it's going to go full bore in those other time frames. So in general, for Aries placements, Jupiter in Aquarius makes a much easier angle. Okay, so we've been getting Jupiter blessings all throughout this time because of the 60 degree angle that Jupiter is making with our Aries placement. And those of us who are from 22 to 29 degrees, or we'll say around the 17th of April or so through the rest of the sign, 16th or 17th through the rest of the sign, you all are going to get even more kisses for the rest of the year from Jupiter. Okay? But when Jupiter goes into Pisces, it makes a little bit more of an awkward angle. It's in a water sign. This is a language that Aries doesn't naturally speak. And so it's trying to bring more emotion, more inner reflection, more quiet space, more connection with others, more connection with the divine into our experience. And after the rush of things that have gone on with Jupiter and Aquarius, you might be craving this, craving some alone time, craving some time in nature, craving some sacred retreat time or travel, or just time to have a break from how it is to be in Aries. And so you might find this to be very welcome, especially if you know that it's here, and especially if you don't judge the feelings that you have, where you might be feeling, gosh, I really need a break, gosh, I really need some rest, which is not something that Aries people are usually thinking about, right? We're just kind of going, and you might dismiss or judge those feelings that you're hearing your body or your mind to say, hey, it's time to regenerate. And now you know that this is the cosmos telling you, supportively saying, yes, you do need a break. And in that break, you are going to be brainstorming and having spirit speak to you about your next big pushes. Because when Jupiter goes into Aries, after it's done with Pisces next year, that is going to be quite a wild time for us. Very, very rebirth oriented and expansion of everything you do and everything you are. And so it's like you've got this little quiet period now in the summer of 2021, or the winter for you all down under, or and the end of December into May. It's like this period of internal reflection. It could be highly creative if you're writing or painting or creating in some other way. There could be vacations or staycations or something that just kind of takes you more into the internal zone, more into the quiet zone, and more into connection with spirit and nature. This is also a time where your intuition can be very supremely expanded in amazing ways. If you're already in touch with your intuition, then you will find that your capacity to read minds and feel other people's emotions and your empathic nature is going to come up in a very big way. And you might scare yourself a little bit with the things that you knew were going to happen beforehand. So this is a time where you can make permanent headway on your relationship with intuition, your dreams, your feelings, your gut feelings, and you can develop that relationship in wonderful and fulfilling ways. And if you're trying to get into work using that, whether you're channeling information or channeling creative things or helping others, through coaching and things like that, this is really going to supercharge that field for you. Also, if you're trying to stay connected with loved ones who've passed on or get information from ethereal connections, this is a time now and in the future, December into May of next year as well, where that information might be more forthcoming or more obvious to you. And the synchronicities, which is the language of spirit, through animals speaking to us, through, a sign that we see that comes to our awareness, through words of a song echoing in our head like they're speaking to us very loudly, or any of these sort of lesser seen realms are going to start to get very loud. And the more you consciously work with them, the more fulfillment and advancement you can have. And also with this can come great psychological healing and great physical healing. This could be a time when you have a physical malady or some kind of physical issue that's been plaguing you for a long time, and you can get an intuition, or your body can speak to you more loudly about the solution for it. So this is a really beautiful time for problem solving and for accessing the power of your subconscious mind to heal and to change your life in all of the ways that you have on your list to do. So very exciting, lots of stuff there. Okay, so another major must know is we do have some Pluto oppositions, and we do have some more salty aspects compared to sweet ones this month. And it will show up through nuisances, through little roadblocks, but for the most part, these are just very short-lived energies, like something's annoying, then it passes, something stressful, then it passes. So just kind of knowing that you might have to do a little more work to get at your gold beforehand can be helpful. Also, major must know is we do have some strong energy in Cancer. Now, in general for Aries, this puts a little bit of a conflict because emotion can come in places where we might not want it. Water can come in through flooding and things like that. You'll want to have your flood policies and your information with your insurance for water pipe breakages and things like that. You'll want to have that kind of sorted out before this time, just in case there's any water where it shouldn't be. But it might just be figurative water, like emotions, and it could be positive. It's just overwhelming. There is a very strong chance that Aries placements are going to be traveling to see family and friends, or that those family and friends will be traveling to see you in your home space. And so the energy of home, the energy of family, the energy of emotion is going to be very, very, very strong at this time. Real estate, housing, where you want to live now, living in the future, moves, fixing up your house, or just kind of going to places that felt like home or feel like home or used to be home. All of that's going to come up in a big way. You're also going to have a lot of opportunities to do cool things with your kids or other people's children. If you work with kids or have family members that are kids, your kids sector is activated in amazing ways. If you're trying to have a baby, this is also an amazing support there. If you're not trying to have a baby, there's also a lot of energy there. So just watch out for that. Let's see. Your creative faculties are going to be supercharged. And if you have any creative projects, you've got multiple ways that this is coming in as being accentuated. Your house of true love and of romance and I call it your bucket list house, just things you've always wanted to do, is going to be soaring high with Venus and Mars going through Leo, which rules your 5th house, which Leo rules the 5th house. So we've got double duty here with this beautiful configuration. Venus and Mars very rarely travel through the same sign. This only happens once every couple of years. And when it does happen, it doesn't usually happen in Leo. That's an even rarer time. And so it's like having two members of your family who usually disagree in accord, like they're telling you the same thing. So you can get more certainty, more support, and just overall feeling of zest, feeling of ambition, feeling of fun. This is your fun sector. So you might be having a lot of fun, again, doing things that you've always wanted to do or planning things that you've always wanted to do, or both. If you're trying to be out in front of people and have your work recognized, this is a great time for that. And if you're not, you might find that you're in the limelight without even meaning to be. If you're trying to make your hobbies a go for your work, this is also amazingly supportive. And if you're trying to find your true love, or if you found them and you want to spend wonderful time with them, this also has amazing support. Venus and Mars coming together in your house of love and true love and romance can definitely be very supportive to you finding that very special person who could be, as I call, a POC, a person of consequence. Okay, so let's see what else. So in general, the combination of Cancer of water and Leo of fire coming together at this time is like a pot with water being boiled. It can be very productive. It can make steam. You can do positive things with strong emotions that come up now. You can have strong causal effects, meaning if there's an issue that has been a problem, you can heal it from the very base of the issue and it can echo out. And it can be very, very, very productive. Productivity is one of the favorite things of Aries, and forward movement and momentum, progress. So this combination can definitely create that alchemy. Now, the last major must-knows are centered around some fire and air kisses, and I want to drill down into some details of dates and degrees and what the aspects are and what you might see from them. So we've got a lot of nice aspects this month, and some of them are in the water and earth frequencies, but we do have 4 main things to note in fire and air. The first is July 2nd and then July 7th, so the whole first week of July. We've got Mars and then Venus making a beautiful aspect with Chiron, the wounded healer, and this is going to give kisses to your placement, okay? So Aries will be especially fine-tuned and fired up from this. So what can we see happen from this? Well, Chiron being the wounded healer and having nice aspects can mean that woundedness that you healed in the past or that you're healing now can yield major fruits, or things that you healed in one area can bring fruits in another area. So like, let's say for instance, you stop eating certain foods because your body has told you, your intuition has told you, gosh, my body doesn't like that. And then from that, you wind up having more clear skin, your hair grows more, you lose weight, and maybe you weren't even trying to do those things, but it happens because you healed something. So side effects from doing healing work of any kind are very profoundly possible at this time. And also, things that used to bother you before, you can have a new state of empowerment about them. Like maybe every time your sister would tease you about something that happened, or something you'd see in the media was a special trigger for you. It's possible that doing healing work around what that means for you, or what the issue is for you, and using EFT, the emotional freedom technique, is a free, wonderful way to work with that. Can mean that you actually heal something consequential. So that is one way that this can look. Now, all Aries have a chance to get special blessings from this, but those of you closest to 12 degrees have a chance to have even more blessings. So we'll say 7 degrees through 17 degrees, and the closer to 12 degrees, the more of a kiss there. Now, for birthdays, that's going to be like April 3rd, 4th, we'll say the last few days of March, and then up through the first week of April. The closer to around the 3rd-ish, the more of a kiss you get from these kisses, and they both do happen at 12 degrees. Now, we talked about how Venus and Mars are in accord for all month, so you get the juicy blessings from that all month long. And all Aries placements will get a kiss from Venus and a kiss from Mars at this time. So boosts your money, your self-esteem, your budget, your spending of money that gets you things that you really wanted, your ambition, your capacity to make money, all of that can robustly work out for you. But on the days around July 13th, there's a special energy around 19 degrees. So we'll say 14 degrees through 24 degrees, the closer to 19 degrees. And for birthdays, we'll say around April 10th, 11th. We'll drill back to April 5th through April 15th or 16th, and the closer to around the 9th or 10th, the more you'll get that special kiss from the combination of Venus and Mars. But remember, no Aries is being left out of this because all of us are going to get kisses from Venus and Mars at this time. Very exciting. And just a reminder of what a Venus kiss looks like. Just think about my grandma Marge, my little Italian grandmother, who would reach up and kiss me on the mouth and give me a meatball and give me some money and take me into her comfy house. You know, all of those things that Venus rules, money and sustenance and affection and comfort. Having a kiss from Venus is like hanging out with my grandma Marge. Okay, so we've got that all month long. Then the last note here is about July 17th and the days before and after there. We've got a full moon in Aquarius, bringing a fullness, completion, fruition to your friendships, to something internet-based, to something with your tribe, your social groups. And everyone can get a blessing from that. But those of you who are in the very early degrees, so we'll say like March born, so like the first few days of the sign, so like March 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, around there, we'll get extra special kisses. But all of the March born have a chance to get some really good energy from that. And of course, all Aries do also have a chance. It's just intensified in the March born and the earlier time frame. If you would like even more information about the starry opportunities ahead, then definitely go to anniehelpsyou.com and sign up for my free email newsletter list. I only send out a few emails a month, and they are all chock full of how you can make the most of the starry opportunities. Plus, you get all kinds of other VIP freebies and extra exclusive things by being a member of my email list. Since most of the work I do for you is free, it's hard to sometimes keep track of everything I do. I do have information when you click on the More button on this video, or if you're listening to the podcast version, in the notes underneath the podcast, you can connect in with all of these free things I do, the podcast, the videos, the blogs, the interviews, and all kinds of goodies. And now at anniehelpsyou.com, right on the front page, I have a better organized list of all of these resources, so you can check that monthly and be taking advantage of all the things I do for you. If you would like to be an astrologer as your profession, make sure that you go to lumelife.com, L-U-M-E, life.com, my school, Luminous Life Multiversity. You will find free courses there as well. And you will find my paid courses. And one of the paid courses is this astrology program, Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery course. If you think I put a lot of details into my free offerings, you should see what I do in my paid offerings. It's really, really, really comprehensive. So I can definitely teach you everything you need to know to be a successful professional astrologer, earning money for your love for astrology. So I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.